Hello again, YouTubers. I'm SpongeBob 101 back here again on the SpongeBob channel, and today is June 4th, 2017. Alright, so the two latest SpongeBob episodes just premiered yesterday, Saturday, June 3rd, Unreal Estate and Code Yellow, which are episode 206. Now, I actually decided to wait till this episode aired before uploading the episode review videos for episodes 207 to 211, all of which aired in March. And the reason being was that I just wanted to, put it in chronological order, which made a little bit more sense too. So I didn't want to, jumble everything. So the Unreal Estate and Code Yellow are honestly, in my opinion, I just watched them off iTunes. Now, if you guys haven't watched it, I highly recommend you go and support SpongeBob, Viacom, Nickelodeon, whoever it is. I'll leave a link in the description box below where you can go purchase the episode on iTunes and Amazon. Of course, if you get the season pass on iTunes, you get all 13 half-hour episodes for $14.99 standard definition and $19.99 high definition. So that's up to you, but yeah, I'll just leave the links in the description box for you guys there. So Unreal Estate. Now, I understand these episodes actually aired early in Europe or something, but the thing is, these two episodes were worth the wait for them here in America. Not that I live in America, but yeah, here in America. All right. So in Unreal Estate, basically, Squidward comes to this breaking point where he's really annoyed at everything SpongeBob does, including SpongeBob trying to conduct spring cleaning on his pineapple. So he tries to trick SpongeBob into thinking that he has an allergy to his pineapple, which causes him to sneeze, which is in reality just Squidward, planting pepper everywhere SpongeBob goes. And so basically Squidward tries to help SpongeBob find a new house. And when they eventually get to this house, Squidward finds it so awesome and so fitting for his own purpose that he decides to give SpongeBob his own Easter Island moai. So SpongeBob turns Squidward's original house into a de facto pineapple. Alright, which is really hilarious. And of course, at the end of the day, the new house, so to speak, actually turns out to be a rocket, and Squidward accidentally launches the rocket as well as crashes it between his old moai and the pineapple. And so it ends up Squidward moves into Patrick's rock. So yeah, really random there, but yep, that is what it is, I guess. Yeah, so, okay, I'm just gonna talk more about this episode first before I move on to Code Yellow. So, one thing I really enjoyed about this episode is the really random gags, and especially the fact that, the episode didn't end on the classic type of note where, everything went back to normal. The episode actually ended with Squidward having to live in Patrick's rock, which is a great alternate, timeline for SpongeBob. Imagine if Squidward had to live in Patrick's rock from now on. That would be really weird. And of course, he started sneezing from that, so it turns out maybe he has an allergy to Patrick's rock. So, yeah, really, really hilarious. I also enjoyed the part where, they had the alternate openings for the theme song, where firstly SpongeBob's picture in the banana, followed by a hot pepper, a chili pepper, and then after that in a, I don't even know what that is. It's like a sandwich. I guess he was in a sandwich, and of course the eventual house was a rocket. But I mean, there was a house that the one from what was that? Oh yeah, the drawers. The drawers are really funny. I think that was probably the funniest part of the episode. Again, if you don't know what I'm actually talking about, I mean, of course, you may see some screenshots of it, but I highly recommend you to go watch this episode. It's really, really funny. But of course, not as funny as the next episode, which we're going to be talking about. But yeah, and I guess it was pretty cool. I mean, we don't really see the yeah, pretty much. I was gonna say that SpongeBob hasn't actually tried to find a new house for a pretty long time, and then I was thinking, oh wait a minute, yeah. I mean, I remember from Truth or Square where it was the original time SpongeBob was looking for a house in Bikini Bottom, and the pineapple fell off nowhere. So, I mean, of course, the logic doesn't really flow there because it couldn't be just in Unreal Estate where SpongeBob started having so-called allergies to his pineapple, right? So, a little bit weird, but it's SpongeBob, right? The weirdness is what gives SpongeBob the appeal, I guess. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I watch it. It's funny and weird, so yeah. But yeah, so that's Unreal Estate. And of course, we didn't see the property agent from Opposite Day or anything, so that'd be pretty funny. But yeah, so Unreal Estate, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Really decent episode. And now moving on to Code Yellow. So Code Yellow is probably one of the funniest SpongeBob episodes I've seen in a long time, and that's actually why I said that the wait for it to come out in English was actually certainly worth it, because I really enjoyed this episode. Now, of course, we last saw the emergency room in Two Thumbs Down, right? Where, I mean, we didn't really go into the hospital. It was like this other part of the hospital. But yeah, in this episode, Squidward goes to the hospital because he wants to get plastic surgery. He wants to get a nicer nose. And there's this really disgusting photo that shows how terrible Squidward's nose is that warrants a nose job, which I'm of course not going to put here because it's really gross. Alright, and in the later part of the episode, SpongeBob turns that nose into like a patty, like a nose patty, which is really disgusting. Again, watch the episode and you'll understand. But yeah, so basically Squidward tells SpongeBob to, go and volunteer as some like candy helper or something. Basically it's like, helping out. It's volunteer work, right? So SpongeBob eats the candy lines on his uniform, and it turns out to be a physician's outfit. So these two physicians come along and ask SpongeBob to go along with their daily rounds. And guess what? SpongeBob actually manages to so-called heal a couple of fish. So firstly, there was like one who was having a really bad throat, and it turns out that fish was catfish was choking on keys. Then there was the marathon runner who SpongeBob literally took the skeleton out of and put a new skeleton in, which is really hilarious as well. And of course, Mrs. Puff. Yeah, we see that machine. Remember from Funny Pants in season 4, where it's like the laughter machine. In this episode, instead, it actually helps to heal Mrs. Puff and allow Mrs. Puff to actually inflate again. Because every time SpongeBob like crashes a car or something, Mrs. Puff just puffs up, and sometimes she doesn't actually get to shrink back to her original size, as we see in Demolition Doofus. Remember that episode from season 8? So that's why she's in that machine. So maybe SpongeBob did something so horrifying that something like in Demolition Doofus that Mrs. Puff couldn't puff, right? So she got stuck in that thing, and of course yeah, so SpongeBob actually healed her by crashing the entire thing into like a window, and then Mrs. Puff just puffs out of that thing and floats out the window, and yeah, pretty much. And so the doctors actually asked SpongeBob to join them on a surgery on who else, right? Squidward. So there are a whole lot of shenanigans with all those doctors watching, and yeah, it's really funny. At the end of the day, Squidward does get his nose that he wants after a couple of horrifying tries, and guess what? He's back to square one. Except that you know, he doesn't have any more limbs. And of course, it turns out that SpongeBob's not a doctor at all, contrary to what the doctors thought. So one of them faints, and SpongeBob just goes on his way, just like nothing ever happened, which is really, really hilarious because you know, that's the kind of SpongeBob I really like, honestly. It's just, you know, it's so innocent, and we're just doing things and making it fun, and you know, it's really, really funny. So yeah, we have all these different types of noses that Squidward could have, some of which are pretty darn creepy. And yeah, but at the end of the episode, Squidward doesn't seem too angry as well. I mean, after being put through so many injections of the anesthetic. So yeah, that was really funny, really, really funny. But yeah, I'll give this episode a 4.5 out of 5. Now this is one of my it's probably one of the maybe the funniest episode in season 10 thus far. Now we've already had episode 205, and of course 207 to 211, and although I haven't actually done review videos for that just yet, I mean, they're not on the channel yet, I must say this episode is probably the funniest out of all of them. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Comment in the box below. Yeah, this is one of those episodes that really should be rated quite well, honestly. I think it's a really nice job on the SpongeBob team's part, and you know, we should have more of these. Seriously, we should have more of episodes like Unreal Estate and Code Yellow. Not saying that, you know, you gotta have the same plot or that kind of thing. I'm just saying that you know, you need to have those. The characters in these two episodes are really animated, and I think that's what makes the episode so hilarious, especially when, you know, they try to carry out like really stupid things. And yeah, it really is really funny. So certainly season 10 is a further improvement from season 9, in my opinion. And well, of course, it's never gonna be the same as seasons 1 to 3, but the essence of SpongeBob is more or less becoming the same as that of season 1 to 3. Of course, not completely all about imagination, but also really random things that sometimes can apply to us as well, but you know, most of the time doesn't. Alright, because it's under the sea, I mean, right? So yeah, comment box below, make sure to subscribe, like, favorite, comment, etc. Again, if you haven't watched Unreal Estate or Code Yellow, I'll have the link to the description box in the description box, where you can go check it out on iTunes. Yeah, so make sure to keep it right here on Ultimate SpongeBob 101. Our next video will be episode 207, review video for Mimic Madness and Housewarming, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!